Marshall. Welcome to R&B Showcase Live, coming at you live from the heart and soul of Philadelphia. We got another great show for you here today. But before we get started, we got to introduce to you our co-host of the show, starting with Mr. Kevin White.
Hey, Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Tell us a little bit about your show.
I do a show called The Crossover, Sunday afternoons from 5 to 6. And my job is to get you to the R&B Showcase from the Bittersweet Philosophy.
Yes, sir. Well done. I like that.
Thank you.
Mr. Julian Seward, tell us about your show.
Yes, I am Julian Seward, and I have the show My Bittersweet Philosophy. I'm from 3 to 5 p.m., and it's kind of a outward expression of what's going on up here. You know, you get some creative language and poetry and music, and, of course, great conversation with this guy right here to my left.
He thinks he's a poet and don't know it.
Tune into the show, and you'll see.
All right, there you go, brother. There you go. So we want to also introduce to you our program, or music director, actually, right?
Program director and sometimes
music director.
Music director.
Of the radio show. Now, I want the folks to know we're talking about 106.5 FM in Philadelphia, and this young lady is our boss.
Well, I like to think that I work alongside you guys, especially because, yes, I am the radio program manager at WPPM, which, of course, as we know, is a community radio station. We're non-commercial, educational. And one thing we really pride ourselves on is involving our programmers like you all in committee efforts. So I'm so happy and grateful to have your support on our programming committee, where we work together to bring in new folks, look at applications for incoming programmers, and really think about, you know, the future of our station together. So. Yeah.
Well, we thank you for being here, Allison, and joining us here on the R&B Showcase TV show. And, of course, right now we have a very special guest we're going to welcome to the show, because we had the opportunity to be on his show a couple of weeks ago, so it's only fair we bring him on our show. And we got our studio audience here today. We want to welcome to the show an Emmy Award-winning broadcaster, meteorologist, Drew Anderson. Welcome him to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to applause for Drew.
Thank you so much. That's an introduction. Audience clapping, Emmy Award winning, man. That's cool.
Welcome to the show, man. Good to have you
So
here,
great to
man.
be here.
Glad to have you here with us on the R&B Showcase. And now you are, we're allowed to mention, on Fox 29 here in Philadelphia. And it's very timely, because we just had this weather situation going on out here. We just finished up with the winter weather, but wasn't that quite a challenge for us this year?
Oh, let me tell you guys. This is the inside scoop, all right? So this is no lie. Saturday morning, remember how we got the snowstorm? It was a Sunday night and a Monday deal.
Right.
Saturday morning, no lie, the two most reliable future radars, one of them said 1 inch, and the other one said 24 inches. Saturday morning, we still have no idea what the snow is going to be and what the snowstorm is going to be. And then finally, Saturday evening, they all kind of started locking a little bit. I'm like, all right, I got some more confidence in the forecast. But yeah, no lie. The range was 1 to 24 inches. And, you know, it was kind of interesting because I guess great minds think alike. So I was looking to see what the other TV stations had, because our totals, because we were just collaborating, you know, internally at the station. We kind of had like around 8 to 12. Everyone else was 8 to 12. National Weather Service was 18 to 24 for Philadelphia. Wow. And I'm like, what am I missing here? And so anyway, it ended up coming in between 14 inches at the airport. Seemed more kind of like 10 outside the station, but what a storm that was. But not one that lasted like the last one.
I know.
So tell us, you've been a meteorologist. Tell us, how did you become a meteorologist?
I got to tell you, it's one of those two-step story sort of deals. I got the kid story, and I got the real story. So you want the kid story, you want the real story.
I want to hear both of them.
Whichever one you tell.
All right, so here's how it goes. Let's start as meeting me down here. So when I was in 3rd grade, and you know how kids are into interesting things, I was just really fascinated by TV and movies. That was just my thing. I loved movies as a kid. I loved TV. Enough that, so the station right here, I remember when they first put on their morning show, they were running ads saying they were going to start a morning show, Good Day Philadelphia, on April Fool's Day. And I thought as a kid, I'm like, oh, this is a joke. Because why would you start a show on April Fool's Day? But they did, and it wasn't a joke. So I was really into it, and my mom saw the things I was into. She kind of encouraged me being into movies. She would take me to the Yaden Theater in Delaware County. Remember that one from back in the day? It was a $3 movie theater. You could buy the movie posters there. So I'd go as a kid. She let me go pick out whatever movies I wanted, movie poster-wise, and buy the posters. And so with TV, she saw I was interested in that show. So when Good Day Philadelphia went on the road, she took me down there. And I think she even took me out of school that day. I don't know what the story was. And what was funny was she must have talked to someone, because the next thing I know, I'm doing weather with the morning weather guy before Sue Serio. And I'm on the beach, and I'm tossing it to the person in the helicopter who does the traffic reports as a little kid. We got to know that meteorologist just from that day, and he became a family friend. So when the show was in Westchester, I was there as sidekick all morning long, doing the weather with him. And then after a year, goes away. And, you know, things happen. You're not a kid anymore. You're not as into like stuff that you were. So college time comes, and I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. Well, weather sounds good to me. You know, there's memories in the back of my head. How hard can it be? Sun, clouds. And I'll do weather. And it's just so cool because here I am today. The whole reason I even picked weather back in the day was because from that one meteorologist at Fox 29 on Good Day Philadelphia. And now I get to do the weather on Good Day Philadelphia. So talk about full circle, right? So, you know, there's the adult story. I had no better idea. I'm like, weather sounds fine. The kid story, you know, I'm all into TV and all of that.
That's a great story, man. What was it like knowing that the first time you walked into Fox 29 to go to work and like, here I am at this thing that started when I was a kid?
All right, so no lie, it was more than just like a first day, all right?
Okay.
The first year, every time I'd walk by the elevator, they had like a little like poster of the weather team, and I would always just look at it and think, I can't believe I'm a part of this team.
Right.
For the whole like first year, I'd look at that, I'm like, I can't believe I'm here. Can't believe I'm doing this.
Right.
You know, like one of those kind of deals. And so that sort of period was more than a day. It was a year plus.
Wow.
And it's so cool to be there today. Now I'm like got almost 5 years under my belt at this point.
Yeah, I was going to ask how long you've been there. 5 years you've been there. So prior to that, where were you? Was there steps you had to take in order to get to that position, and what was involved?
Oh, sure. So my first job was at a TV station in Texas, and I was all into the tornado chase. And they said, oh, we got a storm chase. So I'm there. Are you kidding me? And I'll tell you what, I quit after 3 weeks. I made it 3 weeks, and I was out. I like to joke. I said, that's when I worked abroad, when I was working in Texas. And, you know, it was a little bit of a culture shock. I was a kid that grew up here. You know, sometimes you don't really leave the area. I never really left the area. And so, like, going down to Texas, I was like, you know, this is a little much. Now I love Texas, and I go to Texas all the time. But, you know, when you first get something going on, it was just not a good experience there. And I'll never forget the boss. I don't know if he was yelling at me or how he talked to me, and I thought, no one talks to me like that. You know, listen, you can have disagreements, you can not agree with it, but it's like how you approach and talk to someone. You can't talk to Annie, yell at someone or whatever. And I don't even think I did anything egregious. I don't even remember. I just remember being there and thinking, no one talks to me like that. So whatever he told me to do, I just wrote down a letter of resignation. I was out. But it's all meant to be. And not even a week later, I got a call from my dream job, which was to work at the TV station in Lancaster. And your awesome studio space right here reminds me of that station because one of the studios looked just like this. And they had camera operators as well. Now it's all robots everywhere. And so this is like bringing back memories. And then from there, it was just all around Pennsylvania, from the Harrisburg area to the Scranton area. And then I snuck over to Columbus, Ohio for a minute, and then back to Allentown, and right back here to Philly. And I'm from the area. I grew up in Westchester, so it's great to be here.
Now, I know I was looking at your bio. It says that you visited every state.
Sure did.
Tell us about that experience.
Oh, man, I'm a traveler. So here's my new kick
Obviously.
now. This is what I'm into now. You know how people go on cruises? Any of you guys ever go on a cruise?
Yeah, yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah.
All right. I'm not really a cruise person. I need to move around. You know, I can hear being on the chair. I'm ready to like move around, get out of the studio a little bit. I can't imagine being stuck on the boat for a little bit. But I did do a cruise one time because it's the only way to get to Antarctica. I wanted to say I've been to all the continents.
Oh, wow.
And then, you know, going to Antarctica is expensive. So I wanted to find someone to pay for me to go to Antarctica. So I tried the TV end. And they take one person a year. And if national news applies, well, they get picked because they look at the audience reach, as they should. If national news doesn't apply, well, then they'll take a local person. So every year I was getting beat out. So I'm like, all right, what else can I do here? So then I thought, oh, you know what? I think they have cruise ship lecturers to kind of keep people entertained when you're on over the sea. Well, I teach some college classes. I've been teaching college classes for 10 years between Westchester University, Penn State, and Drexel. And so I just reached out, basically the equivalent of a cold call. I reached out to every cruise ship company that went to Antarctica, and I introduced myself and said, hey, do you need anybody? A couple of them got back to me, and one of them said, oh, hey, we're getting a new ship here in a couple of years. We're going to need someone. Let's keep in touch. We could really use you. Well, you better believe I kept in touch.
Right.
And that ended up being a job, and that's how I get to Antarctica. And it just all started with just kind of reaching out. Much like, when I go back to that story about how my mom probably talked to someone and said, hey, my son's really interested in the weather or whatever, in the show, what can we do? So I can't tell my college students this enough, that just reach out to people. I've gotten the jobs where I teach at like Penn State. I just emailed, I looked up who the boss was, and I said, hey, I'm a meteorologist, taught some college classes. Do you ever need someone? I'd love to teach. And that led to jobs. And I think not enough people just go and just reach out. So it's like my fatherly advice. Not that I have any kids, so I don't know if I've got good fatherly advice. You got to get the kids first, right?
So you learned how to do this from college? How did you know how to do, tell the weather forecasting?
Yeah.
Become a meteorologist.
I left college not knowing how to forecast the weather, and I mean that. And I'm not even joking about that. They don't teach forecasting when you get the degree in meteorology. They're teaching all like the hows, and I thought it was going to be more hows than whys. The truth is, half my classes were just calculus and physics equations. Like, I didn't sign up for this. I signed for clouds, sun.
Right.
I'm like, what am I doing? What are we doing here? So like, I learned like nothing in half those, classes are just equations. I'm learning nothing.
Right.
I thought it'd be more hows and whys. I only had a couple of those. So I never had a class where they teach you how to do forecasting. And a lot of the students there already knew how to forecast. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't one that was always looking at the models and stuff. Like, there's this one guy who's in high school now that I've had on my show. He's going to go to school for meteorology. Dude, he's better at forecasting than I am, and he knows more about it than I do. So like with most jobs, you just learn on the job. And it's one of those sink or swim sort of moments. So I just basically kind of figured it out, taught myself, and it's funny how when you're really determined to something, how quickly you learn and absorb something. I always wanted to teach, from getting the opportunity to teach. I feel like I gave myself a master's with how much research I did to study, because I really don't feel like I learned a whole lot at Penn State. And maybe it was an immaturity thing, I don't know. I'm like, I wish I'd go take college now where I'm at now. But I didn't know, like I left college, Penn State, which is like the top school for meteorology, I left there. I don't know how you get rain. Like, if you asked me how do you get rain when I graduated, I would have to say I have no idea. Truly, so I feel like I didn't know it. So I really taught myself over the years, and now I'm great. Now I teach it, so I know everything about the weather. I'm pretty good at forecasting. My snowfall forecast did pretty good.
Your philosophy is different than other weather forecasters and weathermen. They go in there and talk about they talk up here. You have a different way of approach to. Tell us about your approach to telling the weather.
Yeah, and it's twofold. It's from what I'm showing behind me on the maps. Right. And then how I'm presenting. And I'll just kind of sum it up this way. I worked with an anchor out in the Harrisburg area, and she said this, and it's so true. You know what someone watching on those cameras wants to know? You're watching right over there. All you want to know, is it hot, cold, wet, or dry? And it's the truth, though. We don't need the whole PhD lesson in meteorology that I had no clue when I left Penn State about. It's the hot, cold, wet, or dry.
How do I dress?
Yeah, get me out the door. Help me plan for the day. So tomorrow morning we have a little bit of snow in the morning. So if you're going to go to services, all right, well, you need to know there's a little snow. And today I was saying, hey, during service times, I'm here to help you plan. That's my job. And then, I can elaborate on the app. The app can tell you rain, but I can let you know, it's going to be heavy rain from 2 to 4. Right. Now these apps are starting to catch up to me, because I've been noticing the heavy rain icon showing up more. I'm like, oh, I thought I had that on the app. So it actually said rain, not heavy rain. So with that in mind, when I do the weather, I try to make it as little sciencey or less sciencey as possible, be the way to word it. I try to do as few maps as possible. So yeah, I'll do future radar, because people want to see what it is in your backyard. Outside of that, I'm trying to always use pictures, because I think I'm a more visual learner, but I think that it sticks. Like, if you see the picture, like blue skies today, I'm like, oh, it's going to be a beautiful blue sky day. So I really try to focus on pictures. And if you watch me on Fox 29, you're going to see the majority of the graphics I show are going to be all pictures. And I'm going to try to be hands-off on the maps. And then outside of that, like with anything, you're gonna have some fun. So I'm there to have some fun, and then I just try to just be like the conversation we're having, like real talk now, right? I just try to do real talk on TV. I'm a science guy. I kind of like being a little nerdy. So when I want to drop in a little science, I'll slide it in. Like the other night, I was saying that, hey, it's really cold, and the reason it's really cold is because the sky's clear, the wind stopped, and you get those two together, man, the temp just drops. And then I was relating that back to tonight, the forecast and the day we're doing our show here, is it's cloudy. Well, because of the clouds, we're not dropping down below freezing, whereas a night with clear skies you would, because when you have cloudy skies, your temperature at night's up 10 degrees, because clouds send a little heat back down to the ground. So if you have clear skies, it's going to be colder. When you have clouds, I'm like, oh, this is great. No one's going to be walking out tomorrow kind of slipping on the ice a little bit from that melted snow. that we froze. So you can tell I'm a clown. I love moving around. This is my job, be a little, bouncing around.
I'm going to ask you about that moving around, because I have never, ever seen anybody move around with a phone the way you do with this phone. I mean, you got it going on with the phone.
Appreciate that.
I mean, he had us on his show, and he did the whole entire show on the cell phone. The commercials, everything. I mean, tell us about this, man.
Yeah, you saw my setup.
Yeah, it was like amazing.
So one of the cool things at the station these days is they really want to keep up with the times. And everything changes. Everything changed so quickly because of our phones. So first of all, they made a podcast studio. And we have some of our shows in a podcast studio. Why? I don't know about you guys. I'm always watching podcasts, right? I love that sort of stuff. So that's one of the things. The other thing is we're always doing our videos for our phones. Hey, I should record a little video and put it right on of the show right there. So they wanted to make a couple shows that were done right off the cell phone. So Hank Flynn, weekday mornings at 11:30, he goes somewhere live and he does the whole show off his phone. I do the same thing Saturday nights at 6 p.m. and I'll do the whole show just off the phone. Got the selfie gear, got the wireless mics, and it's great. For our show, it was a unique day. They were filming The Classroom, which is our game show, which means they took away my studio because they needed the mics because they have so many teachers and students competing. So I wouldn't have a mic for our show that we did all together, weekend mornings at 10 a.m. So what I do is we run it as if it's one of my live shows at 6 p.m. on Saturday. And I try to get multiple guests, like kind of how you did on these days where I have to run off the phone because it fills in the room. I don't want to just have one person and I'm doing this the whole time. So I try to get multiple people because it kind of helps fill it out. I have to do another one this Saturday, and we're just going to walk and tour Philadelphia. But it's really simple. They can just take the feed that comes out of the phone. Yeah, think of it as like a Zoom. Like a Zoom's going out to the station. They have it set up on the web to just take the feed that's coming out of my phone. If I pick a certain channel, I can just pick what slot I want, and then that's taking it. And it's up for the whole hour. And then we have a little program I can log in, and I can just send us right to break.
Right.
And I
So
joke.
who runs the commercials though? When you send it, you just push the button and do they run it from the board, or
It's automated. Everything is 100% automated. And it's so funny when I go to a different place and I have the whole cell phone gear. Like tonight, I'm going to a horse farm this evening. And I always like to joke, but it's true. I go, oh, this is TV in 2026. But it really is. I mean, we broadcast live. Okay, so during the snowstorm, we didn't have the staffing to send a photographer out. I am actually doing live reports with the cell phone on Fox 29 and on our streaming platform, Fox Local Philadelphia, just like that with my gear that you guys had, that you and I all use. We're putting it on our air too. And we're also keeping up with the times. I mean, people are kind of used to the phone vibes and stuff. So it's cool to be a part of a place that's moving with the times.
Right.
That's a great thing. That's what it's going to now, because I know when we started off, we had to have a person out there and have a camera person, and all this, the tech crew and everything out. But now, everything's the phone,
That's right.
So,
I was going to say that, kind of going back to the advice thing, with the transparency that social media kind of pushes towards personalities now, would you say, or would you suggest that people getting into the field lean into developing their personality as well as having that knowledge kind of stay with the times as well?
Oh, I got you one better. People coming out of college now, they're really ready to be on TV before college. So that one high school student I was talking about, he's ready for TV right now. And I'm like, oh, that's a shame. I got to go to college for 4 years. You know your stuff, unlike I did when I left there. And then he has the camera presence. And the reason everyone now has the camera presence is because everyone's doing videos. His generation was growing up with TikTok and being in front of the camera. My generation was not. So the one value in particular I got out of college was I had to practice. They had a studio like this. You did your practice weather shows. I wasn't very good. I was all right. You have a little flair where I'm at now. But it was more to get the practice because in TV, it's how you are on camera is what gets you the job. And so with that, people are like TV ready now. So much so that fewer people are going into TV. Right. It's harder to fill jobs at smaller stations because people are kind of getting that interest that they had in TV. Well, they're already getting it, being influencers and being on their phone. So it has really, I think, increased the skill set of people much sooner because they're already practiced on how you talk to the camera. And because, it's not easy. When I went to school, they're like, oh, treat the camera like it's your friend. Like I see we're on this shot right here, you could treat the friend. And here's the thing. I never understood what that meant. And I wish someone would have said that there's an acting component. You got to act like you're having a good time. So right now, we are quite literally, I mean, we got all each other, so I can feed off you guys. But when I'm doing the weather, I got nothing. I just have the wall and stuff. And I'm just literally talking to the wall. That's it. So I got to make a conversation. I always show this to
You
my
always look like
students.
you're having a great time though on
Well,
there.
that's
You know,
it.
you're having fun.
My job is to make talking to the wall an interesting conversation.
And if you can do that, then you got us all hooked, right?
That's what we're acting.
Yes.
Anyway, this is a music show, so we'll talk a little bit, relate this to music.
Love it.
So I'm interested in knowing all of your top 5 weather songs.
Love it.
Top 5 weather songs. So look, we're going to give you a little pen and paper.
Okay.
All right, and then we're going to
Like this, yeah.
I'm
we're
ready.
going to pick out. We're going to write down
Oh, wow.
I can't wait.
top 5.
All right.
I love this right
5.
here. I see this as like a little for a
Nice.
mouse right there, but now it's for the water bottles, the Motown.
You know what? How much do you like that?
I like this a
It's
lot.
yours.
Really?
That is yours, and this is yours. I got this little couple gifts
For
for
me?
you. That's for you.
I
man.
will look at this every day. I
No, I
love
know,
this.
'cause I know you like that map.
I will keep. I love the map of your hat.
Yeah. So you got a map on that. You got a map on the Motown.
Thank you, Tim. I really appreciate that. This is
you can
awesome.
have those things.
I'm gonna look at this every. I'm gonna have it right in my room. All right, I gotta do my homework here.
All right. Oh,
gotta make the teacher happy. I got some pens.
I got some pens for you. We have a
Okay.
little fun here today. All right. Pass the guys, the fellas down the pen.
Yep.
All right.
You guys
One
go.
to Allison.
I'll take one.
All right.
Top 5 weathers, and then I'll give you the list.
Ooh, this is a
Okay.
tough one.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay,
This I cannot wait to hear.
Oh, wow. Now I really have to think.
We're gonna-
I'm like,
we're
can I
gonna-
phone a
we're gonna-
friend?
We're gonna put these folks to task here. And then after that, we're going to take a break and we're going to have questions from the audience before we do that. So, but top 5 weather songs, you know, winter, spring, summer, or fall. Don't matter where you are.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. You just gave me one.
Uh-oh.
Glad you said that. Actually, I don't know if that was a weather song. I gotta think about that one. No, I think it is.
Could be the seasons, the 4 seasons. It could be rain, snow, sleet, and whatever. So, and then I have the definitive list here, folks. So,
Oh, how could I forget that one? That should have been higher.
Some of these are just gonna be titles without the artist name.
I had to do one of those.
we actually started doing this on Drew's show, on his show that comes on, Talking Up a Storm, on Saturdays and Sundays at 10 o'clock, right, on fox29.com.
Yep, right there on our live stream. Also on our smart TV app and cell phone app, Fox Local Philadelphia. And the amount of people watching on the app, like just the app on the smart TVs, oh man, it is drastically going up, which is the whole reason why we're doing these original shows, to give people a reason to watch. And that's where a lot of people are starting to consume more. Not a lot of people are doing cable as much anymore. Or even one of my colleagues, he said, you know what, I usually like watching Fox a lot. I can't even bother to log into YouTube TV and scroll down. I can just go to the Fox Local Philadelphia app. And I thought, yeah, our viewing habits are changing.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that on the show, that, you know, viewing habits are changing today. It's quite different, so. All right, I'm interested in hearing these lists of, who wants to start? Should we start on the end with Julian? You want to start?
I'm at 4. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
I'll
What you
go
got?
down. So number 1, Carl Thomas, Summer Rain. R&B singer from the early 2000s. This is off his second album, Immaculate. Number 2, it's no particular order, by the way, too. Number 2, B.J. Thomas, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. Just feels
Nice,
good.
okay.
Yeah, just a nice bop kind of feel to it, you know, just mellow. 3, again, this I could not remember the artist's name, but I Want to Go Outside in the Rain. I want to go outside.
Dramatics.
Dramatics. That's what it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
You met them.
I did meet the Dramatics.
Detroit, in
Don't bring that
Detroit,
up, so
yeah.
now I'm embarrassed. Yeah.
That was
We were
fun.
all in
That
Detroit
was fun.
together. Remember you met
Yeah.
the Dramatics in Detroit?
What?
Look, Julian.
We met Dramatics.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. We'll have talks after this about the.
By chance?
Well, no, we were at
No,
the
no,
Four
no.
Tops
Gotcha.
anniversary.
Went to the show.
I got you. Okay.
Yes.
I think you guys are walking on the street and like, wait a minute, who's that?
Well, we met you walking on the street, Drew, so
That is the actual truth.
I seen that Fox 29. I'm like, whoa, yo, let me be on your show.
We were
You
live.
said, okay, we're going to be live in 30 seconds. Get ready. Boom, camera on. You said, that's how it
You're
happened.
great, and I had so much fun talking to you guys. I'm like, come down on my talk show. Because we were just walking down to City Hall. I think it was the night the Christmas market started.
Right.
And we're on our way
Right,
down.
it was like December.
Yeah, because the backstory on that was my colleague who was with me, he was running a little late, so I was waiting around for him. So we didn't get to start the show there. We needed to start in progress on our walk down. It was one of those deals. But no one at home. No, we should
Whose
have.
dog was that?
That was his dog.
Okay.
So that was his dog. Because I originally thought, I said, oh, let's go like for a dog walk. And it was fun.
Awesome.
That was fun.
All right, Mr. Kevin White from the Crossover Show. What you got, Kev?
Okay. I think you're gonna think this one is obvious for me.
I already know.
I wish it would rain by the
Oh,
Temptations.
okay. I wasn't thinking about that one, but okay.
I thought you would think that was obvious.
No.
Oh, well, this is the other one that you probably think is obvious.
What is it?
Purple Rain by
Of
Prince.
course. Yes.
That's a good one.
Okay.
It's Raining Men by the Weather Girls.
Oh, that's
Yes.
good.
Summer Breeze, but I don't know.
Frank
I
Sinatra? Seals
and Crofts, isn't it?
Well, I probably go towards Isley Brothers more
have
than Seals and Crofts.
yeah.
But I like them both. I put them both here with a slash.
Wait, that wasn't Frank Sinatra who sang that song?
He did Summer Winds.
Summer
Oh.
Wind. I forgot about that one. Summer Wind.
There we go.
Yeah, I did too. But and the last one was Summer Snow by Blue Magic.
Oh yes, that's a good song. Sound of Philadelphia.
Sound of
Yes,
Philadelphia,
Bobby Eli
yeah.
and Company. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great one. All right, let's go to Allison Durham.
Okay. While you all were speaking, I was able to complete my list, so I'm glad I'm the last person. My playlist is a little more rock, or focused on rock. I had California Dreamin', Mamas and Papas.
Nice.
Good job, Allison.
I can hear that one in my head right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big Regina Spektor fan. She's got a song called Summer in the City.
Yes.
It's a great song. Also a big Link Wray fan, great guitar player. He's got a great song called Fallen Rain. And actually, you sang I Wish It Would Rain
Right.
reminded me of a different song of that same title by Nancy Griffith, one of my favorite folk artists.
Is it a different song altogether?
It's a different song altogether.
I have to hear that.
I think you'll like it. It's
Okay.
it's a good one. And then there's a new wave band called Turquoise Days.
Yeah.
They have a song called Gray Skies.
Cool. That's an
right.
awesome
Another
list.
band.
That sounds good.
All right. Are we ready for the man?
Oh, I don't think I'm going to match here, you guys. I really thought you
Mr.
were
Drew
this.
Anderson.
I was like, this is good stuff.
Who's
All right,
on your list?
Here's what we got. Goes like this. How about a little throwback to some classic rock? We got some CCR.
All right.
We got. Have you ever seen The Rain? I don't know the exact song, but
Okay.
I want to know.
Great
Have you ever
choice.
seen The Rain? I'm thinking about that one. I'm like,
Good
oh,
song.
they also do another song, CCR, Who'll Stop the Rain.
Stop the Rain.
So you can see it and then you can stop it.
The man is thinking.
Yeah. Then I don't know the artist, but it's an EDM song because what I listen to is dance pop. So pop music that's not as like heavy and like roaring. It's more kind of like stuff you'd hear on some of the local stations like Q102, which is a little bit more of that beat solo that's going on. I need something to match up my energy, So the song is called Blue Sky, and I do not remember the artist off the top of my head. We got September. That one's Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, yeah.
Excellent.
Good
Yep,
one.
love that one. And then I got thinking, since we got talking about classic rock, what about the Beatles? Remember Rain?
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite
yeah.
Beatles
There we go.
songs. There we
Yes.
go.
That was the name of the play
album.
they did too, or something from using their
right.
music.
Oh,
Yeah, I
didn't
think
know.
I think it's called Rain.
You know what you guys should get? I did a show for our weather and science show, and I talked to a guy who's been in Philly for a long time on the radio, a guy by the name of Andre Gardner.
I've heard him,
He was
yeah.
on the classic rock station. He's a Beatles expert, and we were talking about like songs like this. He'd be great for your show because he loves music in general. He could talk all about all the shows you guys do right here, music-wise. He'd be a great guest, and I'll connect you guys.
That'd be awesome. He could talk about Here Comes the Sun or I'll Follow the Sun from the Beatles, right? Yes, Drew was. So, Drew, will you mind holding this microphone? Do you know how to hold a microphone?
I'll try.
Did it once or twice.
The big
Oh,
reveal.
Look at this. Like the Oscars or something.
This
is cool.
Okay.
All right. Here we go, folks.
I do all right? I hold that
You
mic
did
all right?
excellent.
Okay, cool.
And the winner is, folks, coming in at number 10. I got the top 10. Frosty the Snowman from the Ronettes. Number 9, Heat Wave from Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. Number 8, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head from B.J. Thomas.
That's number 8? That could be higher on the list. Wow.
Number 7, November Rain from Guns N' Roses.
Yes.
Number 6, I Wish It Would Rain from The Temptations. Number 5, Have You Ever Seen the Rain from CCR? You got like 2 of them on the list already, Drew.
All right.
Number 4, Ain't No Sunshine from Bill Withers.
That's good.
Number 3, Stormy Weather from Lena Horne, Etta James, Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, and Miss Marilyn Marshall.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
You can have that.
Nice.
That's my mother.
I remember the
Jazz
connection you
artist.
have.
Miss Marilyn Marshall, yes. All right.
Thank you.
Stormy Weather is the song. Stormy Weather. All right. Number 2. Kevin, you ready?
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain from Prince. And the number 1 song, who knows it? It's Raining Men from the Weather Girls. You got 3. So, all right, let's give our guests a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
That's fun.
We are going to take you have a little time to hang out with us for a few minutes. We're going to take a little break.
Good, I can use a
And then
little water.
and we're going to do some audience questions after that.
Love
Okay?
it.
So stay tuned for more of R&B Showcase Live.
So we have a few questions from our live studio TV audience right here. Who has a question for the panel?
I got one.
Okay, beautiful. Do you mind introducing yourself?
Hello, my name is Michael. I have one question. How do you get through some of the struggles, going up, the corporate, not corporate, sorry, going up the, electric ladder, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys could probably speak to this too. It's the bosses, right? Your boss either likes you or you don't. I worked at a station where the boss did not like me, so you know what? You're not getting a promotion there. So what you got to do? You got to go find a new boss. You just leave and go find a new one. And then when you find a good one, well, you lean into that. So I like watching this sports guy by the name of Colin Cowherd, and I like him because I'm not a big sports person, but he made me like sports because he takes real world analogies to kind of explain what's going on. And he said this. He says this about like the players and like the teams. He goes, don't chase the bag of money. He says, chase good management. Bag of money will come with that. But he said, you know how hard it is to find good bosses, good management? And I'm like, don't I know it? So that's what you need to lean into. When you get a good boss, that's your place. And when you don't have a good boss, out the door you go and go find one.
That's some really great advice, Drew. Thank you. That's awesome.
That's solid advice. I think I saw another question over here.
And Brandon, tell us where you're from also.
Oh boy, so
And
my
your
name,
favorite radio show.
my favorite WPPM, of course. So my name is Brandon from Delaware. I got a question for Mr. Drew here.
Yeah.
So you said you've been in the news for 5 years doing weather.
Yeah, locally, for sure.
I know you said Antarctica you've been to with the cruise thing. Out of all places, what would be your favorite place you've been to doing the weather?
Oh, man. You know what was one of the coolest things I ever did for the news? I was live in a hot air balloon. I'm
Really?
floating over Lancaster County because I'll tell you what, back in the day with TV, you had to plug a cable into the camera, the over-the-shoulder cameras. That cable had to go into the vehicle. They used to have live trucks. They don't exist anymore. And so you had to go, like let's say we were live at a museum. If I'm on the second floor of the Franklin Institute, the camera's got the cord, and the cord's got to go all the way down the stairs out to the news van. Well, around 2012 to 2015, the wireless technology, our phones came out. Now they just plug the camera cord into a box that has all carriers 5G. Well, that just made everything wireless. So I got to go in a hot air balloon because I want to take this technology to new heights. I went on a boat crossing the Susquehanna River out in the Harrisburg area. I was live in a train. I tried the helicopter. That one did not work because you're switching cell phone towers, so it didn't quite work out. I needed them to hover. So it was really cool to just do trains, boats, hot air balloon, and take advantage of wireless technology, something now we totally take for granted.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Awesome. Good question, Brandon.
I'm dropping my water bottle. Don't
Probably
mind me.
one for Kevin here.
Uh-oh.
Favorite album of all time?
Temptations Do the Temptations, 1976. It's my favorite Temptations album. It was their last one on Motown before they went to Atlantic for 2 years. And it's a great album, but for some personal reasons as well. It was an album that kind of took me through a transition in my life and was a connection for me.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Temptations Do the Temptations.
And how about you as well, Tim?
Well, I'm a Temptations fan also.
Of course, of course.
Temptations, Jackson, Spinners, New Edition, I like all those groups. So probably Temptations, A Song for You, because Dennis Edwards is my favorite singer, and he's the lead singer on most of the album. And him and Richard Street and who else is on that? Damon Harris.
Damon is on that.
Damon,
Of
Otis,
course,
and
Otis
Melvin.
and Melvin.
Otis and Melvin, yes. Temptations, A Song for You. Great album.
Nice. Yeah. I think that's it for me, unless anyone else has a question.
So you're very conversational, and it appears that you're very engaging. Is this a quality that you're born with, or did it come with the job, or did you learn it or develop it?
You know the saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree? Mom and Dad, that's where it came from. Dad was the one that had the energy in room. He would take over rooms at a bar. He's come and talk over to you. He doesn't even know you. Hey, how you doing, man? He takes over a room. Mom was always, it still is, fun, full life. And we look up to our folks. And so it's one of those deals. I can thank mom and dad for that one. And then, then you just take off. Once someone encourages my nonsense, I'm off to the races on that one. They still give me a paycheck at the TV station, so they like me do. I'll do stupid stuff. What camera on? I'll come up, I'll tap the camera sometimes and get right into it. I was talking just last week of how, during the blizzard, we're going to have whiteout conditions. So I come into the camera and it's like, you're not going to see a thing. I do that live. Some places would fire me for nonsense like that. This place, it lets me do anything I want.
You sure enough be doing it.
Our taglines, we go there. Well, I'm really going there when I'm coming into the camera like that and hiding it.
You guys have got to check out this man's show. Amazing weather person, just to watch on Fox 29. So
we have some fun.
My new favorite weatherman.
Oh, you too kind.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You know what? I actually have a question, kind of piggybacking off of Lauren's question there, personality-wise. I'm getting a sense of what you listen to. I know you say you listen to like EDM, pop. Is there a song that you would say personifies you the best?
I really would say it's whatever you're into at the moment. Us as people, we change over time. Our moods change. I've been in a really, you and I have talked about this a little bit on our show. My mood now is kind of more, I'm in a more like reflective phase I've noticed over the last week or two. And I feel like I kind of pick on the songs. Maybe they're new, maybe they're old, that just kind of gets in my head and sticks with it. And I would say I'm kind of like week to week, where something that's like my little theme. Because music is the soundtrack to our life.
Absolutely.
It really is. And so it's just, I think there's different songs for different periods. And then when you hear them down the line, it takes you back to that time. Like I bet you guys remember the music you listened to when you did the road trip out to Detroit. When you hear those songs, you're like, that's when we went to Motown.
Yeah. Or even sometimes you'll hear music from a time period, maybe when it was out, you weren't even that crazy about it. But now when you hear it, it's like, oh, that's my jam. I remember. But it's those memories from that time that you're really associating with.
Yeah, it makes it larger than life. It makes it bigger than it actually is.
Yep.
So true.
Yep.
I want to add What's Going On by Marvin Gaye to that list. That's one of my favorite albums.
Oh, okay.
It's a very introspective album. So that's a good album. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Yeah.
So can I add Purple Rain?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So
We're gonna keep adding. We're gonna add stuff. Yeah. So Motown stuff. My Motown hat. That's how I met Drew. Walking down the street with my Motown hat. So.
And I heard that voice. I heard that radio
voice. We'll come full circle here today.
Yeah.
So. Any other questions from our studio audience? Anybody have any more questions? Uh-oh. Here he comes. Introduce yourself.
A little bit of an inside baseball question. What do you do to get ready for your show and get into the right headspace and energy to to do your show?
I think it goes back to the people. We're different every day. Yesterday I came in the door raring to go. I was all excited. Even though I was on fumes sleep-wise, I don't even know if I got 3 hours of sleep. I think maybe it was more like 1 or 2. I was great. Today, I walked in the building feeling good. I don't know what it was. I was just a sloth. I was slow getting graphics done. I was barely, the news starts, my makeup's not even on. I was like I wasn't the first element, because sometimes I've snuck on the news without makeup. And I don't know what was going on. I just felt off today. I just felt off on air. I was fine on air, even when no watching. I just didn't feel like myself, and I just was like, I don't know what was going on. And then, I had some guests on my 10 a.m. show, and it was fun, and just kind of brings you back. So some days you just have an off. I'm just having an off day. At least I was this morning. And I don't know how to fix that one, because if I did, it'd be better. But generally, you know what? I think it's how you walk in the door, and I think for me, it's what I'm wearing. When I put a suit on, it's like Superman putting on his cape a little bit, right? It just gets me in that mindset. A lot of people will come into the TV station just dressed in street clothes. I always come in dressed in my suit, so that way I'm in that mindset of like that. I'll tell you the craziest thing. You guys think I'm nuts, more than I already showed. So if I'm outside on a really hot day, and it's hot, you're sweating or whatever. I'm someone who's like always hot. I run hot. And I can tell you what it is. When I'm in a suit and I'm out like a 9-degree day, I'm totally fine. I won't be sweating like a pig. Whereas if I were outside, I totally would be. I think it goes back to work clothes. I think it's just there's some mindset. Let's say you work outside, you're a utility worker, and you have to wear all this heavy gear. You just know what to expect when you're in it. It is what it is. You don't think about it. It's going to be it. Whereas on my everyday life, I'm outside with t-shirt and shirts. I'm like, oh my God, it's so hot. I'm sweating. I can be out in the suit and the tie and stuff. I'm like, I'm all right. So I don't know. I think clothes help, but I couldn't even tell you. There's nothing in particular that I do to get ready, because if there were, I would do it this morning when I realized, I'm kind of not feeling it today. And it wasn't that I wasn't feeling it that I didn't want to be on air. I don't know, I felt off today. And I thought, I think today's just why people have sick days, you know what I mean? And it was all good on air and in person. I don't know, something was a little off. I don't know where that came from, because I drove in feeling great.
I wonder how you manage that 0-degree weather out there, though, when you're telling that forecast. You're outside in the cold. You're out there. It was like 8 degrees outside last couple of Saturdays ago.
Let me tell you, one time I come into the station, I'm in my Superman clothes at this point, right? I'm on my dress suit. As soon as I walk in the door, they go, "Oh, we're going to have you outside today." It was the coldest day we had in years, a couple of years ago, about as cold as it was in February. And I'm like, great, I got dress pants. So you know what? I was cold. I remember I had this coat and I had dress pants. You know what? When it's that cold, when it's like below zero, and you got wind chills, do you think there's any insulation? You know how thin this fabric is? That was cold. So I learned from that because I like to learn from my mistakes. And you better believe I always keep winter gear in my car now. I'm ready for all seasons. So that way I walk in the building and they say, "Oh, you need to do that?" Okay. I've learned to keep suits at the station. I have backup suit, and I learned I should have 2 backup suits. I always keep a backup suit in the car. So I just learned from my past failures.
Well, Drew, we appreciate you being on the show here today. Any more questions for our guests, ladies and gentlemen?
One more.
We got one more. We got Brandon Moody.
What was the longest period that you were in the studio? Like you weren't like able to go home. That may not even be an answer to that question.
Good question.
Well, it's twofold. The longest I've been on television was just the other day with that blizzard. I was on from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. straight. But, we're socials now. You got to do the socials. I was updating the socials at 1:30, but I was like on TV every hour, multiple times an hour from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. That was a long time. Yeah. And then outside of that is I haunt the station on the weekend. You heard about like places being haunted? I'm the ghost of Fox 29. And it's not Fox 29's past, it's Fox 29's current. I work around the clock on the weekends. So this weekend, for example, my shifts are Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night. So I'm sleeping at the station tonight. I have my little 1-hour nap earlier. I just kind of catch some naps, and I'm just haunting that building.
I love it.
So I think I've done 5 shifts in a row of where I've done like Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night. That's been the longest that I've been like at the building, like not going home till like real bad.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right.
All right, thank you, folks. We appreciate you all stopping out here to the show here today. Let's give another round of applause for our special guest, Mr. Drew Anderson.
Thank you.
Fox29.com.
Thanks for hospitality.
Thank you for being on the show. Thank my co-host, Mr. Julian Seward. Thank you, Julian.
Thanks as always. Thanks for having me.
Kevin White.
Thank you, Tim.
I'll see you guys on the radio tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Right? All right.
From there.
One more time for Drew.
Oh, too kind.
Give it up.
Thanks,
for the
guys.
man. I'm Tim Marshall, and thank you for joining us for R&B Showcase Live.